I really think it's necessary from time to time to talk about these situations where there's this tragedy that everybody takes in a completely different way. And I think that the reason that they do is because we're all human and we all have different experiences and we have different levels of knowledge about what's actually going on. I'm talking about the shooting and killing of this San Bernardino County sheriff's deputy as he was responding to a domestic violence call. I want to talk about this because there is a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. It says something like, be careful when you're battling monsters not to become a monster. And when you stare into the abyss, beware because the abyss is staring back at you. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. We know that these people right here live as monsters. And how do we know? Because they live as individuals among us, claim to be protecting and serving like we always say, but they do the exact opposite of the claim that they make because they are constantly depriving us of our rights under the color of law, under the color of some political law, some corporate traffic law, but they're constantly depriving people of their rights. They are caging, they are torturing, they are tasing, they are shooting people. They're putting them into torture chambers, i.e. the prison industrial complex, when a lot of these people haven't committed a crime. They haven't done anything wrong. They haven't left a real victim. The people who understand this and deeply internalize the fact that these people are living as conspirators against our rights and deprivers of our rights under the color of law, they don't shed tears. As a matter of fact, some people are jubilant. I'm not in that camp, and it doesn't make me any better that I'm not. Maybe somebody has a deeper understanding. Maybe they had a personal experience with some of these cops. Maybe the lives of them or their family was ruined. Maybe they were economically terrorized to the point where they became homeless, and that has happened, or lost their car, or got their car towed and wasn't able to get it out of the impound lot because they were at their last, they were at the end of the rope. And then a cop like this comes along and says, you didn't turn your signal on when you shouldn't have. Oh, I don't like the way you're talking to me. Why don't you step out of the car? I'm going to pat you down. And he puts his hands all over you, ruins your life, puts the torture cuffs on you, kidnaps you, takes you away, fingerprints you, subjects you to the humiliation ritual of a body cavity search, throws you into jail, forgets about you. I'm going to go over this story right here. People come to the table with different knowledge, different experiences. And while there are some out there who are actually celebrating this guy right here as a hero, there are others who are applauding that, hey, one less badged, armed, psychopathic parasite to ruin our day, to ruin our lives, to end our lives. So let's take a look at this news story.
Last night, officers outside Los Angeles lining the streets, honoring a sheriff's deputy killed in the line of duty. Deputy Andrew Nunez was among the law enforcement responding to a domestic violence call in San Bernardino County. Deputies were fired upon as they arrived, and Nunez was shot in the head.
Why were they fired upon? Where's the body cam? Where's the dash cam? Everything we know about this story is filtered from the police department, the sheriff's department, through mainstream media, who's always kind, most of the time, kind to local police departments. And when local news stations do end up running investigations on police departments, it's the police departments and sheriff's departments who are actually obstructing the justice that the investigative news crew is trying to bring into the light.
As he was rushed to the hospital, the suspect racing away on a motorcycle.
The suspect left the area on a motorcycle and subsequently was pursued by our deputy sheriffs with aerial support overhead.
The suspect speeding down the freeway, hitting 100 miles an hour, then 130, eventually reaching nearly 150 miles an hour as he weaved through traffic. An officer on a motorcycle managed to get close to him, but the suspect cranking the throttle to race away. Moments later, he's seen here pulling out a gun. He seems to chamber a bullet, all without touching the handlebars. Less than a minute later, a car driven by an off-duty officer pulls into his lane and hits him, launching the suspect and the motorcycle into the air.
An off-duty deputy sheriff who put himself on duty and conducted a legal intervention by hitting the suspect on the motorcycle, causing the motorcycle to go down.
Despite the violent toss, the suspect was later seen conscious and sitting up. He was rushed to the hospital in stable condition. He survived, but Deputy Nunez did not. He leaves behind a 2-year-old daughter and a pregnant wife.
And that's another thing that in the minds of a lot of people adds complexity and confusion to the situation. It's like, hey, this officer right here, he was a father. He was a husband. Don't you think, and I'm not, you can make your own determination on this. Don't you think the Nazi SS, don't you think the Gestapo had wives and children and pets that they loved? What does what they have in their lives as far as what we have in our lives, you know, loved ones, family members who care about us, children who depend on us, what does that have anything to do with the way these people act on their jobs and the evil they inflict and the harm they like to cause on the rest of us? It has absolutely nothing to do with anything. How do we know this guy was a hero? Has anybody looked into his record? How many innocent people are sitting behind bars right now because of this man? How many people have been economically terrorized? How many innocent Americans has he protected and served the crap out of?
Pregnant wife.
I certainly hope for the family that we can provide some level of peace by making sure that the suspect is held to answer for this crime, and we'll all continue to move forward as a department.
One of the things I don't want to become as I continue to expose these badged criminals is the monster similar to the kind of monsters these guys have become. I don't want to lose my humanity. I don't want to become so callous and cynical that I, on some level, become like them. But at the same time, I'm a realist and I love truth. And the truth of the matter is there aren't just a few bad apples out there. When these guys get investigated, they are covering for their Thin Blue Line gang members. They are covering for these crimes. As just one example, remember Deputy Timothy Poole from the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office who shot Daniel Birch, shot and killed an innocent man in broad daylight on camera, and the sheriff's department didn't do a damn thing about it, didn't send this criminal deputy to jail? How many videos do we have to see to convince us that, yes, psychopaths do become cops because they want the ring of power? They want to control you. They want to put their hands on you. They want to pat you down. They want to rifle through your belongings. They want to kick in your door. They want to shoot your dog. And if none of that was true, we wouldn't see thousands upon thousands of videos every single year testifying to this fact. So you'll have to excuse me that I'm a little cautious saying people like this are heroes when we see that they live their lives as villains.
An emotional procession to remember a sheriff's deputy shot and killed in San Bernardino County. The alleged shooter taken to the hospital after a high-speed motorcycle chase. Crowds paying their respects tonight in San Bernardino County for that sheriff's deputy who was shot and killed. 28-year-old Andrew Nunez lost his life after responding to an incident in Rancho Cucamonga. Several law enforcement agencies holding a large procession for him tonight.
Such an emotional night. Deputy Nunez served most of his time on the department here in Rancho Cucamonga. And you can see here outside the station that there is a growing memorial. There are notes of sympathy, all in honor of a young father and husband gunned down in cold blood. The grief and sadness written on their faces as the procession carrying San Bernardino County Sheriff's Deputy Andrew Nunez passes by.
I was sad because he gave his life for people.
This is very sad night for them, and you know, this shouldn't be happening.
Devastated.
Is it really sad though? How many times, in how many different ways, have all of these badged criminals committed crimes against us? How many?
Deputies overcome with emotion. Law enforcement from across Southern California turning out in a massive show of support, escorting the 28-year-old's body from the hospital to the coroner's office.
When we talk about this young man, his wife, 2-year-old daughter, and the couple was expecting.
That's just an appeal to emotion, not an appeal to reality.
His mother and his 4 brothers and sisters are who have to live with this, along with the members of his department who are out there serving with him today.
We get to go on with our lives. Now her life is totally altered. Same with the individual, you know, altered.
Nunez was on the force for 6 years, serving 5 in Rancho Cucamonga. Outside the station, residents dropping off flowers and candles in honor of a man who gave his life to help others.
Very sad, obviously, because these officers go out to protect us and they leave their home, and
Is that really what they do? They go out to protect us. They're pulling you over in the middle of the street because you didn't wear your seatbelt. You didn't have a properly illuminated license plate tag light. You didn't activate your turning signal when you were supposed to. They don't like it when you ask them questions. They treat it as contempt of cop, get their feelings hurt and pull out their taser or pull out their service weapon. Or they say, give me your CCW, like Philando Castile. And as he's doing it, as he's trying to obey, he gets blown away. Make your way down the hall toward us. Keep your legs crossed. If you reach for your waist, we're going to end your life, like they did to Daniel Shaver. But Daniel Shaver doesn't get a procession down the road after he's summarily executed in the hallway of a hotel by Philip Brailsford in Mesa, Arizona. And the list goes on.
you never know what's going to happen.
Victorville Sheriff's deputies now staffing the Rancho Cucamonga station here to give fellow deputies the time to grieve. The sheriff promising that suspect will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law.
Giving them time to grieve, and we're probably paying them for the time that they're taking to grieve. We probably paid all the overtime of the officers and firefighters that lined up in the funeral procession. Even in death, they steal from us. Think about how insidious that is.
The tragic events began unfolding when deputies responded to a domestic violence call in Rancho Cucamonga. That's where the suspect opened fire, shooting Deputy Nunez before that chase began.
To save the life of a San Bernardino sheriff's deputy who was shot in the head while responding to a domestic violence incident. A caller reporting a man was threatening a woman with a gun.
All of a sudden, all the cops are coming. Must have been like 50, maybe more.
Law enforcement officers from several agencies and a SWAT team surrounding the Rancho Cucamonga townhome complex where the shooting happened around 12:30 in the afternoon.
And when they arrived to this call, how many people who had nothing to do with this incident temporarily lost 100% of their rights as the police swarmed to investigate?
They were searching for the suspect when he fled the location on a motorcycle. The man making dangerous moves while heading eastbound on the 210 freeway with several police units in pursuit. The suspect traveling at speeds reaching around 150 miles per hour. The chase coming to a sudden end when the motorcycle collided with a vehicle driven by an off-duty narcotics deputy. The suspect was hospitalized, police recovering a weapon at the scene.
The pursuit came to a conclusion with an off-duty deputy sheriff who put himself on duty and conducted a legal intervention by hitting the suspect on the motorcycle, causing the motorcycle to go down.
A motorcycle kind of flew by me, going rather pretty quickly, and then all the officers started going by me, and then he crashed into another car.
The eastbound side of the 210 at the mountain exit was shut down for hours due to the investigation. Deputy Andrew Nunez, a 6-year San Bernardino County veteran, was pronounced dead at a hospital. Neighbors in the townhouse complex expressing their sorrow.
He has a wife and he has a newborn coming on the way. Oh my God, that pain just...
And I feel bad for the officers that were out here because they had to deal with all this and knowing that, one of their fellow mates, is gone now. It's very sad.
Honest question, is it really that sad? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you want to support this channel, you can do it for free. Just like this video, share this video with everybody you know, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification icon. Remember, freedom is scary, it's dangerous, it's unpredictable. The only thing more scary, dangerous, and unpredictable is not having freedom. I'll see you in the next video.